Hey there, this is Dr. Pam Perry, and this is a special edition of Get Out There, Get Known because I am here with one of the masters or the maestros of radio icon. I mean, there's all kind of things. Hall of Famer, I want to call him Hall of Famer, but award-winning radio legend in Detroit's area. He is kind of like a big deal, right? He's like a big deal, but he had a decades long, I won't say maybe at least 3 decades long in the industry at major stations, but now he's a filmmaker. He's making movies, he's writing stories, he's directing, he's doing something totally different. He's stepping into a whole so we're gonna talk all about it. Gerald is with us, and he's going to talk about the journey of Black Ice, the Rhythm. Right after this, we'll bring up Gerald McBride.
Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Like I said, I'm so excited to bring up Gerald McBride.
Pam, that intro was just amazing. I'm just sitting here like, wow. I'm like blown away by the whole production, the video, the voiceover. And I was expecting a big applause right at the end there. You got to add the applause there. Wow.
You know that voiceover. That's your friend.
Yeah, that's my buddy right there, man. But that was just so awesome, man. Wow.
Thank you. So I'm nervous, right? Because it's like you do this all day, every day for like 40 years. You making voiceovers for all kind of people all over.
Yes.
I mean, just all the concerts. The voice is always Gerald McBride. It's like, okay, so here I come, gonna bring you on my this little box. But I'm like, okay, but I saw the movie. So, Gerald, I want to say just straight, we've known each other for decades now, at least 20 years or more. Me and Mike have been married 30, so probably over 30 years.
Yeah. I remember when you guys first got married, so it's been
so it had to be almost
30
years.
Yeah,
and I've always known you as that guy doing old school jams, doing the radio, doing the voiceover productions. I mean, that's just been your thing, and you're excellent at it. And then
thank you so
all
much.
of a sudden now we've got a new pivot, and it is a movie, and I saw it Monday, guys. Oh my God. Now, I'm a type of person where I have a little ADHD, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get bored. I followed, my eyes were like glued to the screen. I was following the story. The story was excellent. And by the way, it is a faith-based movie, but you don't really feel like you're being thrown the Bible at you and it's so churchy. It's very believable. So I just want to say kudos to you because you and Karen, executive producer, put all of your coins down. You took the big risk and made this movie. So I want to hear, like, after this stellar career, like, what made you want to do this movie? Like, what?
Well,
what was the inspiration?
Let me just kind of go back. First of all, it's this month marks my 45th year in radio.
Wow.
So 45 years in radio.
You still love it and doing
good. I do. I still enjoy doing the show. Well, just doing, of course, the Saturday night show on the weekends, which is now syndicated in 30 cities. But we just have fun. Doing that show every Saturday night with the Battle of the Old School. Those of you don't know, it's kind of like this Battle of the Old School. Matter of fact, this weekend we're doing Michael Jackson versus Prince. So
it's got to be MJ. Come on now, it's Motown. Okay, we ain't trying to give no love to Minneapolis.
Right. But back to your question. So after doing this for so many years, about actually 17 years ago, when I got the idea for this film. And one of my clients who I do commercials for, I also have a production company called Voiceover Production. So we do a lot of radio and TV commercials. And just one of the clients that I work with a lot, Jewish guy from Connecticut, came into town. He says, "Hey, man, while I'm here, man, let's hang out." And he says, "By the way, can you take me to a hockey game?" I'm like, "What? Yeah, sure." He says, "Yeah, my son is playing for UMass and they're playing University of Michigan." So I agreed to take him. And when we got there, it was sold out arena, 10,000 seat arena. and I'm the only black guy in the entire arena. I thought, wow, this is amazing. I mean, I enjoyed the game, but I was just surprised that there were no black people in the stands, and of course, no black players. And I thought,
Mhm.
well, maybe I'll see some at the concession stand. Nobody there. I mean, it was just wow. It was just a whole different world of this hockey. And
And Detroit's a hockey town too,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was inspired right then. I thought, wow, this would make a good story. And so I started doing this research about black hockey players and where are they in this sport. And did discover that there were some. There were some that played that became pretty famous, and there were some currently playing, but not a few. Nobody would really know who they are or what team they were on. And it just kind of gave me this idea. I really believe right then God gave me this idea for this story. And as a writer, Pam, when you get an idea, it's like every day, it's like this is on you. You got to get it out of
mhm,
you. You
it's
got
an
to write.
assignment.
You got to. Now I'm writing on notepads, just writing out outlines because I knew what the story was going to be with this black hockey player and the challenges he would have, and I just kept getting these ideas, and I kept writing and writing and writing and writing, and then finally I'm like, okay, wait a minute, I got to put this into some sort of real format. And so I started taking writing classes, script writing classes,
Mm,
and I also developed just some skills at writing a script, a movie script. And of course, I purchased the software Final Draft and just kept writing and writing. And then I started sending it out to get critique. Now I can tell you the first couple of times I sent it out, people were like, "This is yeah." This is a horrible idea. It's just, your story is not this, it's not that. And I had a few friends in the movie industry, so I was able to get some real constructive criticism. So I
mhm.
kept
And how
writing.
long was the process from this ideation to when it's actually the rhythm movie where it's out now? How long has it was that
Oh,
journey?
yeah, so it was, let's yeah, that would have been 15 years before I would start shooting it.
15.
So when I finally got the script together, I actually started getting some bites from Hollywood. There were some people who said they were interested, but they never really put the money up.
Mhm.
And I thought, wow, I need to do something with this. Now, I had no um, experience in directing at all or producing a movie at all. Now, I've done a lot of TV commercials and had
Right,
to shoot a lot of different TV and make a lot of radio commercials. So I wasn't totally unfamiliar with cameras and
right.
lighting and shooting things. But a movie, it's just
Is
so many different moving parts. Like, wow, I never thought I could really do this. 2022, I really believe the Lord started speaking to me like, no, I need you to step out and I want you to be the director and I want
Mhm.
you to produce this. And then the interesting thing about that,
And the
um,
casting.
and the casting, right? So I mean, I had to do all of that. So I actually started pre-production in 2022, and I'll never forget. Um, Once I decided to do this, and while I'm at church, a guy walks up to me and say, "Hey, I hear you're doing a movie. You need some cameras?" I was like, "Do I need cameras? Absolutely!" And he was able to front me all the cameras that I needed. These were
Wow.
red cameras that films are shot with all the right lens, with all the
Mm.
right tripods, everything we needed.
Yeah,
He
and then
supplied
and
for it.
people could see that trailer. It is
Yeah,
first
yeah,
class.
it's done with the very best. So I
And
started putting my yeah,
that is God that you're on the right track.
yeah,
You're gonna need
absolutely,
those things at the
absolutely.
beginning because sometimes you can go like left and it's like, oh my goodness, what am I
Yes,
doing? And
what
then just
absolutely.
remember that that God sent you a raven. So
Absolutely, absolutely, and provided the equipment for me. So I started planning. I started with, my getting my crew together, and I started actually casting myself,
Mhm.
the different actors, and auditioning the different actors as if I had all the money. Now I had no money. I had no money for this at all. I'm
This
like,
is
but
this
I'm
is what the
stepping out
God
on faith. I'm
this is
stepping
what
out on
God
faith.
will say, or either people will say, we got the poker face for this,
Yeah, right,
okay?
right. I had the poker face because I'm telling all of these people, yeah, May 15th, we're gonna start shooting the movie, and I want you to be in it, and I need you to run the camera, and I need you to do sound. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I got the poker face. I'm not telling anybody that I don't have the money. So I'm just believing God is gonna come through. So I'm continuing to do pre-production. And my wife and I thought about doing investors, and that just started to seem just a little uncomfortable for us. I mean, I know that's how a lot of movies are made. People go get
Right.
investors here and there and promise them this and that. And I think that was the one thing is like, wow, I kept thinking now, if I get all this money from people, what if I can't pay them back? What if this doesn't work? And I mean, you're
Yeah.
I just didn't want to take people's money and put it on the
Right.
line like that
Right.
with a
Right.
risk that I was taking. It just didn't feel comfortable. But that is the normal way people make movies. I mean, that's the way
Mhm.
it's done. They get
Well, they can use
investors.
GoFundMe or Kickstarter and things like that.
Absolutely. They
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I just wasn't I was just uncomfortable with that. And so while we're planning, while we're getting ready, May 15th is approaching. 5 days before we get ready to shoot the film, I yes, 5 days before we get ready to shoot the film, I get an email from the SB and said, "You have been granted a loan," and I get a loan to finance the movie. So that was my the government was my only investor. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so
I
I
love listen, you pay taxes your whole 45 years, okay? So,
listen, it's the
it
SBA loan, you still have to pay it back now,
right, 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 but
so right,
you definitely 5 days before, and SBA loans are not easy to get, so
right,
that is
right.
just like another green light that this is supposed
Absolutely,
to be done, and 5 days before. Woo, talk about a
absolutely,
safe walk.
absolutely.
That
So
you always are gonna be challenged when you're gonna do something, and it's a faith-based movie.
absolutely,
And
absolutely,
here
that
we
is so
go.
true.
You gotta really, like, be the example. So
Absolutely,
so
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
you were the
Yes,
one, and then I wanna say your lead character, Art Cartwright, he
yes.
was excellent. I think I can't see him as anything else. I mean, when I see him, I'm gonna say, "Hey, let's go ice skating." You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, it's like
There's
that
Coach
was
Buck Taylor. Yeah, right,
yeah, he
exactly.
was excellent. He was
Yes,
very good, and I
yes,
really, really like the kids in the movie because it's a
yes.
family-friendly movie, and so tell us about the kids in the movie that
Well,
played the part
what's really
of the
yeah,
team.
what's really interesting, I had to find some kids who were able to skate and act. I'm like, "Now, how am I gonna do that?" But I kind of just went to Detroit Ice Streams and asked, Cynthia and Jason if they had any kids that they thought had some interesting personalities who skated on the hockey team, and sh
Mhm.
they pointed out a few kids, and, I auditioned them, and they turned out really, really good. So the kids that you see in the movie, this is their first time acting,
Oh
and
my
they
god.
did an amazing job.
Oh
But,
my god.
Pamela, what was really interesting, I just told them, "Look, here's the lines, but I want you to just be yourself. Imma give you the lines that I want you to say, but if you want to change it just a little bit to make it a little more personal for you, you're welcome to do that." And just made them feel relaxed on the ice. We had a
Mhm.
lot of fun shooting with the kids. I mean, they had so much fun doing this film, but the
The
fact that they
goalie
were
the
able to
goalie
skate. Mhm.
that goalie was my favorite.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
goalie, yeah,
yeah.
JoJo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
JoJo, he was my
Just
favorite because he was
yes.
always like, "Oh, I don't feel so good.
Yeah,
I
right,
don't feel so good."
right,
He was always like,
right.
"I don't know if I can do this," and then all of a sudden he says, "Ain't nobody bad like
Like,
me.
ain't nobody bad
Nobody
like
bad
me.
like
Right,
me." I was like,
right,
"Okay,
right,
okay." I said, "That is definitely
right.
Detroit grit right there,
Yeah, it
okay?"
is, it is. The movie has a lot of Detroit grit, and the fact also that in the movie we mentioned how, Detroit is known as Hockey Town.
Mhm, mhm.
And just 15 minutes from the beautiful Little Caesars Arena, where you got
Yeah.
all of this hockey going on in Hockey Town and the restaurants, and in the inner city, 15 minutes away, right in the inner city, there are black kids playing hockey. And this
Mm,
is really true. So the other thing is that while I was writing this 15 years ago, I didn't really realize I was writing something that was really based on true events. When I told them what my story was, they were like, wow, that sounds like our story. So,
mm.
yeah, so when I gave these kids the script, they could really relate to everything in the script and everything that yeah,
Yeah,
in the
and
storyline.
the thing I like about, the rhythm, the
Mhm.
Black Ice, the rhythm, is that it wasn't just a racism movie. It
No,
had the components I said about faith, but it
right,
wasn't faith like Pollyanna,
right,
right? Because it was real situations where there were some deaths and things that happened. It's like, and he was saying like, "This is so unfair. Why, what is God? God doesn't allow people to die."
right,
Then also too, there was a situation with teen pregnancy
right.
that was discussed,
Absolutely.
and then also too, it was interracial, uh,
Yes, yes.
relationships
Mhm.
that is not talked about a lot. So
Yes,
you had a white lady who was running a roller skating rink in the city of Detroit,
Right.
and she ends up, having this affection for this guy. And
Right.
so it's just like, okay, then that really shouldn't be happening. How you gonna write this script? And you
Right.
did a good job with that. So
Well,
you
thank you.
had all the different stories going
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
that rolled
Right.
with things, and then the drugs. So you were realistic about
Absolutely.
being
With things
in
that are going on in
street
Detroit.
life.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Street
that
life.
they yeah.
Absolutely. And the movie, and this was really kind of brought out after we were, just doing the question and answer the other night at the screening with you and others. Um, that the movie was about choices, about making the right choice in life. We're faced with choices all the time in life, and we want to make the right choice. And a lot of times we get into situations because what? We make the wrong choice.
Mhm,
And that's
mhm.
what the movie is about, is to really take some time and think about the choices that you're making and pray about the choices that you're making.
Yes. Now
Yeah.
music has been your life. So there
Yes.
was one song that when was so beautifully orchestrated, she was ice skating, on
Yes.
the ice, your lead
Yes.
female character. Where did that song come from?
Well, that was actually done by a friend of mine named, Alonzo Dozier and Mike Mendenhall,
Yes,
and it was
yes.
sang by Beth Griffin Manley, and we
Oh,
just
Beth, that's who that was.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
all
yes,
right, I
and
love it.
the 3 of them wrote that song, and when I heard it, years ago, I always thought, I'm like, "Man, this would just be perfect in the movie,"
That was
yeah, it's
it.
called "You Already Won," and we're just hoping that when people hear this song that they'll want a copy of it, that they'll go find that song. So,
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah,
just thought it was just perfect for the film.
it was. Now, I know you have the trailer, and the trailer shows the whole movie. You should do a little trailer of that part
I
of
will.
that song.
I
Yes,
will.
yes.
I'll
I
do
mean,
that.
it is
I'll do
just
that.
beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yes,
So
yes,
let's talk about your media. So you're in the media business, and
yes.
you've worked with Clear Channel your whole career, or
Well, yeah, Clear Channel. I've worked with WJZZ. Pam, I've been
yes,
up and down the
ABC.
dial. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
so
yes,
Bell
ABC.
Broadcasting,
Yes,
Booth Broadcasting,
Booth.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Booth family, black
iHeartMedia,
owned, black
Evergreen.
owned.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. So a little bit of I've been up and down the dial. Yes.
And so let's talk about some of the media exposure that you've gotten
Mhm,
so far that has been, and this is where relationships come in. I know that the
mhm.
other day, Rochelle Riley said that she was going to do something. She's a
Right,
legend in journalism,
right,
Hall of Famer journalism. And I just saw she did a tweet. I mean, that right there was an influence.
right.
I saw the other day, DB, I don't know if you saw D Business. They did a story.
I didn't see that. No,
Yeah,
wow.
that was yesterday. That was yesterday.
Wow.
It stands for DetroitBusiness.com. D
Wow.
Business did a
Awesome.
story. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
The first TV interview was where? Where'd you do that?
I haven't done any TV interviews yet. I have one coming up.
Didn't you
Uh,
do one with Channel 7 or was it Channel 4?
oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I did do Channel 7. Now I did one. That's right. I'm sorry. I did it during Black History Month with Carolyn Clifford. That's right. I
Yes,
did.
that
And
was
right.
major. That
Yes.
was oh, that
Yes.
oh, Channel 7 is happens to be a ABC number one station. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Carol, I hope Carol is not listening or watching. I'm like, I forgot about that. It was a few months ago, but it
Yeah,
wasn't during this whole run of campaign that I'm doing
right.
right now.
Mhm.
So that's why I
Right.
kind of forgot
Right.
about it.
Right.
But no, that interview was excellent with Carolyn, and I just have to say, man, just working with her is just amazing. She's
Please. Yeah.
just did an amazing job on the story and just
Mhm.
bringing out everything that I wanted to,
And you were
in the
sitting on the
interview.
ice while you were
And
doing
yeah,
it.
cold on the ice. And
Ice. Oh,
we both
right.
had our coach so shiver when we say in the movie black people don't play hockey because it's too
It's
cold in
too
here.
cold.
It's
That's the
true.
It
It was
is, it
so
is,
cold.
it is. Because even, like, figure skating in Detroit, I used to work with those group of girls, and I did
Mhm.
some fundraising for them, and whenever I go to their, practices or things like that, I'm like, "Ooh, I cannot stay out here."
I
But
know.
they
It's
do
so
a really
cold.
good job, they do a really
Yes, they
good
do.
job. And
Yeah.
you did, some radio? Did you do some radio?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Of course, of course, it's on my show. We're talking about it on my show. I got some really cool promotions coming up with the radio stations. That's because of my relationship and working in radio for so long. So, the movie is also playing in Flint,
Okay.
And so WDZZ is going to be doing check out this promotion. They're doing a skip work and go to the movies with Gerald McBride. So this is
Okay.
like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They're telling people, hey, take off work and go to the movies. So
Okay.
so
That's a bit different.
that's
Okay.
I
Let's
know.
skip
I thought
work
that
at
was
night.
different. So we're going to try it. We're going to see if some people will skip work and take the afternoon off and go see Black Ice the Rhythm. And then I
Oh,
have a promotion also in Saginaw with a radio station, and of course, iHeart is helping me here. I have an interview with people that I've worked with. Mason, I'll be on Mason's show on
yeah.
Monday morning. I'll be on Mildred Gaddis' show on Sunday.
Mildred is like Detroit's Oprah. Yes.
Oh yeah, so I'm
That's
just calling all my friends like, hey, hey, remember me?
Well, that's how people do a solid for you because you have been their friend for so long, doing things for other people,
Yeah,
and we got the print. The Black journalists will probably do like
right,
Rochelle will probably rally all of them. She's
right.
with the city of Detroit. She's going to rally some schools. You have churches. So let's
Yes,
talk about the churches
yes,
that
yes, yes.
I think Reverend Van was at
Yeah,
the Sprint
Reverend Van was
Awards.
there, and then I also had the opportunity, which and this was just really a blessing. I had the opportunity to go to Hartford Memorial Church on Sunday, and they
Mhm.
allowed me to speak about the
What?
movie,
Oh
yes,
my God.
and play the trailer.
Okay.
Before they must have had 1,000 people there at church
Wow.
this day,
Yes, one
and
Detroit's mega churches, and
yeah,
it's a big
absolutely, and
church.
it was just wonderful, so well received. I stayed around afterwards just to kinda talk about the film, and on top of that, to sell tickets to the movie, and they
You
ended up
sold quite
buying
a
out
few.
2. Yeah, and they bought 2 theaters.
There
Yes.
you go.
So,
There you
yeah.
go. I
So
love
churches
that.
churches are definitely the way to go, and I think that's one of the great things about having a faith-based movie is that this is kinda entertainment that churches need to see. I just talked to, Pastor Andre's people at FX Church yesterday,
Mhm.
and
Andre
they'll
Butler. Mhm,
yes, and
mhm.
they'll be buying a night, and yeah, so we're
Oh,
excited
good.
about that.
And he had his own movie as well, so he
Yes,
knows
that's right,
that the
and I
same
had the opportunity to help him with his movie called Matchmade, which is
yes.
out on Tubi right now. Yes,
Yeah. Oh my
yeah,
god. So
yeah,
where do you see this going? So we've got the initial run that's going to be I know you gotta be nervous. It's just kinda like you've been nurturing this baby for a couple of years now. So on May 31st is the
right.
first part, and then it goes until June 6th. So where do we wanna see it? It's in Detroit, Saginaw, and Flint. So
Right,
where do you
and
have
also Minneapolis. But what we
Okay.
wanna do yeah, we
Okay.
wanna just kinda see the deal I have with the distribution company is small, and which I kinda like, because we get a chance to kind of learn each other,
Mhm.
for this business deal, and, what we wanna do is show a good showing in Detroit and these other cities in Flint and Minneapolis so that, this is so we can kinda say this is a test run.
Okay.
And they wanna just kinda see what it does here in Detroit so that
Mhm.
we can take it to other cities. And,
Mhm.
so that's our
Mhm.
goal is to really
Okay.
show well in Detroit, Flint, and Minneapolis. So if you have people in Minneapolis, please tell them they can see it at the Lakeview Theater in Minneapolis,
Okay.
May
Okay.
31st through June 6th. Also in Flint at the Birchfront Theater. So if you have people in Flint or Saginaw
Mm.
or in
Okay.
that general area, Midland or any of those other cities, that they can also see it May 31st through June 6th at the Imagine Birch Run. And,
Mhm.
what we wanna do is show a
In
good
Detroit in
in
Detroit, it's
Detroit,
act
of course, Detroit, we are in, Imagine Theaters, the Birmingham 8 on Woodward downtown, and also at the Imagine in Canton on Ford Road. Yes,
okay,
May
okay.
31st through June 6th. So we just need everybody to support this and and, um,
It
so
is
we can just
really
do a
good.
good showing
It
for
it
this
is good.
independent faith-based film. And you know what? We need more films like this.
Mhm,
We definitely
mhm.
need more films like this. I mean, it's
It
just
it
so
had
much.
it was a good reflection of life, but it was
Absolutely.
also, exposed me to something that I knew nothing about because at
Right.
the very end I don't know if I should give spoilers or not, so that's a problem.
Yeah, you gave a few, but it's all
But it's something it's a history lesson in about the sport and
Absolutely.
where we didn't just, you know, the
Absolutely.
last 10 years just show up on the ice. So that was one of the main
Absolutely.
things.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like about it is that you were fluid with it
Mhm.
and you want to give a story about a couple of things that you changed some scripting and things like that
Oh
at the
my
last.
goodness, that changed so much. What the really interesting thing about that is, when you're writing a movie or writing a script rather, and you get ready to shoot it and you actually on the set, and you're hearing people deliver the lines, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not gonna work. We need to we need to rewrite that right quick. So I would stop, cut, wait a minute. Then I pull an actor over to the side. Wait a minute, I think I'm gonna change your line a little bit. How do you feel about saying it like this? I can't tell you how many times I did that, and I just had
Mhm,
such a
mhm.
great cast of people who were willing to work with me and say, hey, look, okay, let's do it. Let's whatever you think works. And
Mhm,
then the other thing about my style of directing was I don't mind hearing what you have to say. It's not all about me. Tell me, you're playing this character. Tell me
mhm.
how you feel. How would you say this?
Okay.
What do you feel about this situation? And so a lot of the things that you hear in the movie, or the lines that you heard, were actually some of the things that they came up with based on what I had already written. I mean, it didn't go too far away
They
from
weren't too
the
rogue or
subject.
anything like
Right,
that,
right,
right?
right. Couple of people I had to pull them. I was like, "Well, hold it, wait a minute, that's too much." I don't know if you noticed the parole officer, but I was like, "Okay, yeah." He's an amazing actor, and he
He
was just,
was,
oh
he
my
was.
goodness, he was just so good. I don't want to give away too much, but yeah,
But
he
the
was a,
thing that is real interesting, you're a great storyteller and you
yeah,
saw
thank
the
you.
story, it was in your
Yes,
vision,
thank you.
God gave you the vision to do it. But most people would write a book before they do a movie.
Yeah,
That's kinda like the whole kinda they'll do a novel first.
right.
So, do it but there have been movies first that then have
Absolutely.
been adapted to a novel. Do you see
Yes.
that as the next step for you?
Well, I have a book that I'm working on,
Okay.
called God and the DJ, which is the story of my radio life. And
There you go.
I'm actually almost finished with that. And
I would buy
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
God and the
yeah.
DJ, and which will include um, the whole experience of making the movie too, as well, in the end of the book. I mean, because that's kind of where I am in life right now. So I'm writing it all the way up to this
Yeah.
experience of writing the movie. And
Wow.
just my
Because
whole
you
faith
actually
walk in radio, and the things that I've gone through, and the people that I've met, and my funny stories in radio. If I could just tell you one before I know
okay.
we're gonna
Yeah,
finish it in a
yeah,
minute. In the
yeah.
book, my first radio job, um, I had just graduated from Spec Howards, and I'm, just so excited about finally, getting ready to get in the radio. And I'm working at a carpet store, right? And I'm like kind of like the guy that rolls in the big rolls of carpet and stocks the carpet up. I mean, it's just the job that I hated. I'm like,
Right, it's like, "Let me hurry up and get out of
yeah,
here."
because I'm getting I graduated, so I'm just excited about getting a job in radio, right? And Spec Howards were sending me on so many different interviews, and I'm sending out my tapes, and I kept getting turned down and turned down, and finally, I get a call from a radio station in Flint, or AM station called WAMM, and I'm just like so excited. And we're like, okay, we think we like you, we think we want to hire you, but what you need to do is come up here for a week before you go on the air on Saturday, and we want you to just kind of go through an orientation, and so you can learn the board, the equipment. Back then they had all of these knobs and turntables, and
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
went up every day and sat with one of the other disc jockeys who was full time there, and to get prepared for my Saturday show. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, I got this, I can do this. I'm so excited. Saturday, I get around to my show. I get on the air. The jock, I'll never forget, standing there in the doorway, and the jock says, "Up next is our new DJ, Gerald McBride." Pam, I was so scared. Have been waiting for this opportunity all my life, right? I get on the air, Pam, and I'm so nervous. I went to start back then. They had turntables, so I'm reaching way back to start the record. Right, I accidentally knocked the needle off the record and went screen over the air, and then I opened up the mic and I said the wrong call letters.
Oh my
The program director runs in and says, "You're fired." Before I could start my radio career,
oh my
I got
god.
fired. Before I could say my first word on the
Oh my god.
radio,
I think
I
I
was fired.
know the person whose father that was. Was that Crystal's father?
No, no, that wasn't.
Okay.
No, no, that
Okay, that
wasn't.
was
No, that
another station, so you
was.
did better there. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
Oh
So before I could say my first word on the radio, I got fired. So
Really?
I have those
Okay.
kind of stories in my book.
Woo! But you've met all the celebrities too. You've met
Oh,
all
yeah.
the,
Yeah, I've
from
met
the
quite a
old,
few.
Whispers,
Yeah.
Dramatics, Aretha
Yes.
Franklin. I
Yes,
mean,
Aretha, yes, yes, a
just
lot,
tons
a
of
lot.
them,
Yes,
and that is some of the things that's so interesting because you know all these people and they know you
yes.
by name. And you did voiceovers too for some
Yeah,
of
for
the mega
everybody.
churches. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
everybody.
TJ
Yes,
and all of
yes.
that. So but you stay so grounded and
Yeah.
so uh approachable.
Yes,
Because
yes.
when you listen, everybody, when he goes around to Detroit, he's like the celebrity. So it's like people are like, hey, and Gerald cannot know everybody's name. He cannot, but he's just like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" Like on the radio, "How you doing, Gerald?"
Just right. I do the same thing on the radio. It's like, Joe, you remember, and we
Yeah,
went to high school 50 years ago. And I'm thinking, man, I need to start bringing my yearbook to the radio station. But I usually remember a lot of people. I do. I
woo.
do.
Yeah, yeah, but that's one of the things, and so your next phase of this, whether we see it on Netflix or we see it in the movies, we see it on Tubi, wherever, we're gonna support you because we
Well, thank
want
you
you to
so
do
much.
more movies like this, more
Absolutely.
movies like
And
this.
I do have a couple more that I'm working on. So we
Oh,
just got to
man.
get our foot in the door with this one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
we're going to support you. So people can go to therhythmmovie.com. They can contact you.
Yes.
There may be some actors out there to say, hey, your next one, I want to be in the audition,
Yes.
So I consider you like our Tyler Perry. You're the starting of our Detroit's Tyler
All
Perry. So
right.
you're kind of getting that together. And there's a lot of screenwriters that are want to learn. So probably you're now in another phase of really just
Yes.
connecting with those people in the industry. And like you said,
Yes.
it's a whole new world.
It
It's a
is.
whole new world.
It
But
really
thank
is.
you so much for joining us
Well,
today.
thank you for having me, Pam. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And so I want to make sure that people know that they can go to the Imagine Entertainment there and also to Cheryl. She's from Detroit. She said, birthday girl. She says, Gerald McBride, congratulations on your
All
movie.
right, Pam Poo. All right.
So
All
Cheryl
right.
is from Detroit. She used to work for the station that had Dick WKQI back in the day. And then
Okay.
she moved to LA. And so now she's out in LA and doing everything out
Okay.
there. So
Awesome.
yeah. So it's never too old to really do the dream that God put on your
Absolutely.
heart to do.
Absolutely.
So
Here I am
yeah.
in my 60s starting a whole nother career. So
A
yeah, you're
whole
right.
nother career with a
A whole
whole nother
nother career.
industry of folks. And
Absolutely.
we are ready for it. We are ready for it.
Yes,
So
that's right.
Jeremy Bride, thank you so much for
You're
joining
welcome.
us today. I appreciate it. Take
Thank you,
care.
Pam. All
Bye
right.
bye.
All right. Right.
Oh my God. The Rhythm, the movie, that is the one that you need to go see, support it. Even if you can't see it, how about we just retweet his website and things like that and support him on social media. That will be a good thing to do as well. So I just thank you all. So make sure that you go to the Rhythm, the movie. Make sure you share it. Tell people, friends that are in the Detroit, Saginaw, Minneapolis area that they can go and check it out. That's what they want to do. So I'm telling you, it is a good movie. And I'm not saying it because of my friend, because I know that I cannot lie really, really well, but it was a good movie. So with that, I'm Pam Perry and I'm out.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com.